Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review. We're the host of the Way See Anime podcast. Nominate and vote on shows either we haven't seen or shows that hopefully to a great discussion. On today's episode, the oh god, I wish I were her belt shooters of the Way See Anime podcast. We'll be reviewing the 2006 anime Black Lagoon. Today's culturally appropriate podcasters tonight will be myself, Kat, Jolene, Miles, and I'll kick it over to Pat to get this party started.
Yeah, we watched Black Lagoon, a show that aired in spring 2006 season of anime, done by Studio Madhouse, sourced from a manga with genres of action, adult cast, organized crime, and it's a seinen demographic. Let's get right into our first impressions of this show. Miles, why don't you start, and would you recommend it?
Yeah, so this is obviously like a all-timer sort of thing. Even as someone who wasn't exposed to a lot of anime growing up, or really until I started to do this, like I knew who Revy was like on sight. You know, she's a pretty iconic character, and there's a few more Dutch, a lot of characters who aren't the main guy are iconic, and I sort of expected more or less what we got. I guess it was like a pretty irreverent, like high paced, like sort of action packed clusterfuck, I guess, is how I would describe it. Like, it was a lot of fun. In some ways, like, it showed its age, like, derogatory, and in, like, some ways it showed its age, like, complimentary. It was a really interesting watch. Would I recommend it? Like, yeah, I think so. I think especially, like, what we watched was pretty quick and entertaining throughout the whole time, and it's I don't think it's gonna today blow anyone's socks off, but I think it's like a pretty foundational sort of work. So just for the quick and easy bit of anime history, I think it's worth a watch.
I agree. All right, Kat, what about you?
Yeah, so my first impression of this show was I got it as my Secret Santa show for our last Secret Santa, or the actual like normal Christmas, not Christmas in July. We do both of them, by the way. Join the Discord. I really enjoyed it. And then somebody nominated it and it won. I'm one of the culprits of it because I did vote for it. But I thought it would be a very good, a really fun show to for the rest of my co-hosts to experience if they haven't seen it. So I would absolutely recommend it. It does have some moments where you're just like, wow, this was in February, but it's it could be worse. But yeah, I would recommend it.
Hey, Jolene, how about you?
First off, before I start my first impressions, I just want to say I'm upset that Pete didn't give us intros, because I was going to say something about how that if they ever make, smell-o-vision a thing, I think that this should be the first anime that ever has it, because cigarettes, gunpowder, that sort of thing. A lot of other things that I think should be included, and I'll just leave it at that. As for my first impressions, I like the character designs in this show a lot. I think that's what I was focused on the most, was how cool the characters were designed and how much attention to detail was put into certain aspects of them. Besides for the main character, God, he was boring, and also like a Nazi sympathizer, high key.
We're going to talk about that later, because I feel like in the year of our Lord 2026, it didn't really hit the same way they were thinking it was going to in 2006 or whatever. But please continue.
But I think that this show does a good job of setting up like what the tone of it is going to be, especially in the dub, with like how much like I can't imagine how censored this must have been when it played on Toonami or whatever, like in terms of like language and that sort of thing, because like Revy literally opens up by like calling someone a word that I'm not going to say because I don't want Pete to be demonetized. Like, it's incredible stuff. So I would definitely recommend this. I would recommend watching the dub specifically, like the English dub. So
100% agree. Pete, what about you?
First impressions, I think, especially watching the dub, was the dialogue caught me off guard really fast. Definitely something that I wasn't expecting, but was a welcome. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't think that this show would be made in 2026, but I'm kind of happy that it was made in 2006. But coming into this, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a little bit darker than what it actually was, and it ended up just, for me, sort of just being the A-team. Like, straight up, this is the A-team. Literally every character is the A-team trope. So as soon as I realized that it was that, I fell in love with it because I really like the A-team. It's very campy and fun and ongoing. Like the manga is still ongoing, and you can tell by the structure of this story that it's just like get a new job is the next 2 episodes, and then once that's done, the next 2 episodes are gonna be get a new job, and I'm cool with that. Like it's fine. Like it doesn't need to be this deep and in-depth story about capitalism or something like that. It's just like, no, just some ragtag group of people just shooting people. So yeah, I would recommend it. It was a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of I would say if you're a fan of old school TV, like military TV, like MASH or A-Team, something along those lines, I think you'll really like Black Lagoon.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't connect it to MASH as much as I would connect it to A-Team, but we can talk
just
about
that
that later.
like MacGyver or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Military
so violence in
dramas
MASH.
is where I was leaning toward with some shit. Sometimes there's shooting.
It's like serialized military drama. I get you.
Yeah. All right. And I also would recommend this. So that makes us 5 for 5, I believe. I would recommend this mainly because I think, like what others have said, it's a good period piece for like the early 2000s. And I mean, it's like the Toonami show when you think of Toonami. It's like that, Bebop, and a couple of the others that were somehow on every night,
that's a good question.
or every Saturday night.
When you think of Toonami, what do you think of? Because I don't think of Black Lagoon at all. At all. So
Interesting, because
it's interesting that you think that you connect Toonami to it. Because I'm assuming it was on Toonami. It's just I don't connect Toonami with it.
I don't know how else I would have known who this
Cowboy
character was
Bebop
even
for
before.
sure.
Yeah. Well, it's like Toonami was like, there was the early Toonami, like the 10 o'clock Toonami stuff, which was like Naruto, Bleach, maybe One Piece. I can't remember. Dragon Ball, like the not family friendly, but more okay. If a kid watches this, it's not the worst thing ever. And then there was like the late night Toonami stuff,
Like
and
Samurai
I'm pretty
Champloo.
sure. Yeah,
2014 is when this aired on Toonami, and
16.
the age
There you
gap
go.
between Pete and Pat explains that.
That makes perfect sense. It honestly makes perfect sense.
I think that makes. So this aired on Toonami concurrently with Attack on Titan season 1. So
Let's get you back to bed, Unk.
it's
Happy Unk week.
Off to the nursing home. Yeah, no, but obviously, so it didn't air. So did that dub that we watched get made in 2014? There's no way, right? It makes me want, but like, why else would there be a dub from back then? Which we're gonna talk about this later because we've all hinted at it. There is some stuff in this that would not get made today. Even
no, it was 0708
is when it was recorded,
by Ocean
so
Productions.
Okay.
Okay, that makes it a little more understandable then. But we'll talk about that more specifically later because it is a big accent point. I have to recommend the dub as well. It is part of what makes it I think so enjoyable for better or worse, I guess, because there's a lot of stuff in this too that isn't great. I enjoyed it enough. It got a little hammy for me later on, but I think the premise is strong enough that it carries it through it. And the character designs, as mentioned, are awesome. A lot of cool things going on there that I'm curious about more of too, as we know this has an ongoing manga and then also another anime season that we didn't even cover. So this will be spoilers now going forward for Black Lagoon season 1. And yeah, let's get right into it. Miles, do you want to do a very quick synopsis before we start, or would you rather just start with the first talking point?
Yeah, Salaryman Light Yagami. Sorry, my apologies. Rokuro Okajima spends his days trying to climb a corporate ladder, but then he gets sort of roped in with like a group of pirate mercenaries as he was trying to do a business negotiation in Thailand. He then sort of joins the crew and gets assimilated into it, and it's sort of a story about the missions and stuff that they go on, the various crimes and other things they commit. Is sort of like a paramilitary group that works for the United States government in some capacity with the CIA. There's a whole thing there to discuss about imperialism, but and then a large part of his story, at least, is sort of like the contrast between this like sort of everyday salaryman from Japan getting brought in with this group of people who are all particular, like a lot more hardcore than him, and have like a lot more troubled pasts, specifically like Revy, who is very much contrasted with him as being someone who is a bit, I guess, darker and has had sort of a rough life growing up. We don't have the full story of all of that right now. So yeah, that is our main synopsis. I think the first thing that we should talk about is, I mean, should we just get to like the dub and like how it is? Like that's what we were all hinting towards, like, a lot. So you know, the dub is very good. When we say that it is from 2006, it's the use of like an R slur and some other, not necessarily slurs, but like racially insensitive language is, I guess, how I would call it.
Some significant accents and decisions for voices that were very clearly voiced by people that were not of that.
I will say, this is so as someone, and I need to know, Pat, if you felt like this as well, and Pete, but as someone who is like, my like heritage is Irish, I've never felt offended by anything, any characterization of an Irish person until this dub.
Oh yeah, that guy was
I can't lie. I thought he was Australian until she called him.
Wait, he's Irish?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an Irishman.
No, it wasn't.
That was not an Australian man.
No,
it was an Irishman.
No.
It came off as Australian.
That was somebody trying to do an Irish accent, making an Australian accent. That was
and
not
that's
an
what
Irish
I was.
fan.
That was like, I think it says a lot that there was like a pretty iffy Chinese accent on screen at the same time, and that was much better.
Wait,
it was a much better
you're
accent.
Telling me, oh,
it was an Irish accent done by a Canadian voice actor.
But saying that the Chinese accent was better, I wouldn't necessarily say it was better. I would say it was more recognizable as Chinese because it was so offensively racist.
Yeah.
Like it was very
Taiwan. She's Taiwanese, not Chinese.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
What do you mean? It's the official stance of the what? You know?
No.
The CCP is gonna stop sponsoring us. What are we doing? Guys.
Yo, I need my big China money. Shut up.
Bing chilling.
I would just like to point out who the English voice actress was for her, the Chinese character. Very white and also Canadian. It's all these damn Canadians are the ones doing the worst caricatures. Suspicious. That was really bad though. The Irish one was like dumb, and again, it sounded Australian to me. But like the Chinese woman's voice, it was like I don't know. She probably had that as her directive or her like instructions, but it's like, good Lord, is that how the character is supposed to sound? Like, I wonder what the Chinese. Taiwanese. We talked about how like everyone should watch the dub. I almost wish one of us watched the sub so that we could know, does the Irish guy speak Japanese in an Irish accent, and does the Chinese or Taiwanese woman speak with Japanese in a Taiwanese accent? Like, I wonder if there is that base there, or did they take those creative liberties?
what they always do. They give him a Kantai dialect or whatever. And then
Kansai,
that's what they do. That's just what they always do. It's just like,
well, I mean, like
you're from Osaka now.
Yeah. For the words they say and like like how it's translated, that's one thing. But I mean, like literally in the voice acting themselves in the sub, or I guess in the original
that's
source,
what I'm
like
saying.
does she, yeah, maybe they did just give her a can. Well, yes and no though, because like I feel like I don't know. I'd be very curious.
Yeah,
One of us should have done that.
It would be really tough because, like, I don't know what an Irish accent of someone speaking Japanese sounds like. Like, that's going to be
fair.
different, right? Which is part of the reason I like dubs more, because, like, people can name one accent from Japan and it's the Kansai one, and then if they use any other ones, they don't name them. But, like, you can name a bunch of, accents from Western countries generally. Like people can differentiate between different levels of like English accent and like what economic background they come from because of that, just because we're more familiar with that. But so like this did throw me off, but for the most part, I kind of liked the irreverence of it because of who Revy was like as a character, because she felt like someone who kind of would just be dropping some slurs every now and then.
Yeah.
There were a few times where they like definitely like used it too much, I thought, because like it didn't even like make sense in context really. Like even if you like put yourself back in like Xbox Live lobby days or whatever, like it just didn't make sense. But for the most part, I did think it was sort of nice how they characterized her with that, what has to be a very heavy localization, because that stuff is almost certainly not in the native Japanese. But I don't know. I thought it was. What were people's thoughts on that? Because obviously there's a few different things you could consider with it.
You know how people have like headcanons where it's like, oh, in my head, these people are together, blah, blah, blah. I need to go. I'm sorry, that Irish dude is not Irish. Straight up. I'm revoking this card. As an Irishman, I am revoking this card. He is not an Irish person. But I think you hit it on the head the best. Like, this would never get made in 2006. It got made, or 2026. But like, I really like the fact that they use that language for those types of characters, because it felt more, I don't know, it's just like a pirate. Like a pirate probably is like dirty and nasty and swears and all that stuff. And they're a ragtag team of pirates as well. And so like the fact that they just swear at each other and punch each other and use that language, I thought it added a lot to the dub. I really do. I think I can see why people say you recommend the dub because of something like this, because it's something that you wouldn't get in anime today.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, it's like when you work in a kitchen or a lumber yard or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else
captures the vibes of 2006, which for me feels like an Xbox Live lobby.
Yes. Yeah.
Feels like dark woke.
Honestly,
Yeah,
as
sure,
somebody as somebody who worked at Lowe's, this feels closer to a Lowe's than it does an Xbox Live lobby, funnily enough, just because construction workers have such a...
That's what I'm saying. I worked at a stone and lumber yard, and a lot of guys...
Did you guys not play Halo 2?
I played Halo 2 as well. It does both. You got both. Lumberyards sound a lot like an Xbox Live lobby.
It's like, honestly, yeah, like you played Halo 2. You played Halo 2 with the construction workers like children. I worked at Lowe's with those kids' fathers. So yeah,
I feel like
very close.
We're all just describing non-white collar like situations, right? Like I feel like it's like the whole point is like the filter is not there. I
gotta say, Xbox Live lobbies are a little white collar. Like, I don't know. At least the kids I played with. I mean, I went to a prep school, but they were still talking like this.
It's just, I guess my point is the setting. The setting is where, it's the same people. It is everyone. Like I don't know. we're going a little too deep off the deep end. Investigating these slur usages, but it's I thought it was very like we're trying to get to the etymology of it, but it is pretty it's pretty funny.
Excited to see what Trent calls the chapter for this.
Yeah, me too. That's cool. It does add to the experience, and I agree though too that it does accent the times or the vibes of the characters for sure, because I guess when you're shooting that many guns, there's not a lot of time to mind what you say or think about what you're saying, right? What do we think about like their group's chemistry? I think if we're ready to move on off of slurs, as a topic.
Okay, I have some more opinions on. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, what are your opinions then, Miles? Please.
No, we can talk about them later. I do want to talk about how the show is like actually kind of based in some ways, like as opposed to just focusing on like the not based ways. But I'm serious about this, Cat. I mean, if we want to discuss it now, I've seen a lot of anime where every character is just like Germany did something in World War II, and then they shrug their shoulders, and like while we didn't quite have the exact viewpoint from every character I would want in this, a lot of these characters were like, yo, fuck Nazis, kill them all, it really doesn't matter. And like that is like unironically kind of refreshing from a Japanese made animation, right? Like
not even from a Japanese made animation, just from media in 2026 right now. Jesus.
Because like I only say that because like in the West we obviously have all of our issues with this, right? In the States and everything, like what we're doing right now, but like even the people who are literally Nazis like don't like the Nazis. Not all of them, like some of them obviously do, but like a lot of people are like, I'm different. World War II, we killed the rah national, you know what I mean? Like where when we watch something like what was it had like Obanaga in it or whatever, and
Drifters.
Yeah, there were a lot of Nazis in that everyone was just like, I respect you for fighting the good fight, and it's like, was it the good fight? Drifters, was it? And I thought it actually had some like pretty interesting takes. Like that last arc I thought was like a pretty interesting view of like a revolutionary whose like cause is dying and everything, and he sort of had a cool exit. So I don't know. Like, I mean, the show obviously has its issues, but I thought that it was like pretty interesting from like a political standpoint, I guess. It does sort of try to frame Revy as like not caring that Nazis had families when they fucking died as like dark, and like not really. Like, and I guess in my opinion, like even one of the Nazis was like, wow, you guys don't care about your families. Like even so that was a bit of an interesting contrast, but that was like in like episode 2 or something. So I guess that's what I was saying, Kat, when I said base, not like the verbiage or anything that was used, but just like the political. The group of pirates like had some pretty good thoughts in them for the most part. I think they also had some bad ones, but like some good ones.
When she held the child at gunpoint, that was my favorite political stance she took, was using a child as a human shield. Like, yeah, totally. What's that chart that we have? Like
her hitting the child and telling him to like hurry up and like I was like, me when I come home and my kid hasn't maxed out my fishing on RuneScape.
What the fuck? Oh my goodness. We're off track.
Anyways, with that, let's get back to the group chemistry question, because I think that's a good one. Pete, do you have thoughts on the group chemistry? You seem to compare this to the A team, which I think is a good comparison. But who would you attach to all the different roles, and what did you think about the overall chemistry?
Okay, well, I'll get out of the way. Dutch is Baracus.
Okay,
yeah.
Hank is a rock. Sorry. Fucking what's his name? Hannibal? I'm trying to remember all the people's names from A Team.
John, Hannibal. I'm looking them up because
Betty is the nerd, and then Revy is Bradley Cooper's character from the movie. I forgot his name.
Face.
Face. There we go. There we go.
Face, yeah.
So Revy's
Chuck
face.
So you're saying
Rock is Hannibal, Dutch is Baracus, and Benny is the nerd guy, whatever his name is.
Rampage Jackson should play fucking Dutch in the live action Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that'd be sick as shit. That'd be awesome.
Get Rampage Jackson to play Rock. That's what I think. Just be the very timid salary man the entire time.
That's Timothy Chalamet. Sorry, that's his spot locked up.
Oh God.
In terms of the cast, though, I thought their chemistry was actually pretty bad. Except for like Revy and Dutch was cool, but like outside of that, I felt like there was almost zero chemistry. There was a really awesome, like low-key, super sexy scene between Rock and Revy when they share a cigarette. Like that scene was sexy as shit, like for no reason, and I love that part of like them growing closer to each other. But like the core group, it might get there later in more content, but how the story is like kind of like built, I feel like the chemistry is going to take a while to get there. I felt like it was pretty low team energy.
Okay, Jolene, you have some follow up here.
Yeah, I think that honestly, one of my major gripes with this show is that I feel like there wasn't really a lot of like development, even in terms of so there wasn't really a lot of development between the characters, but there also just wasn't a lot of character development in general. Like, I feel like you get like a decent look, and I'll use Revy as a way to like sort of as my main complaint because she's obviously like the actual main character of the show, right? So like I feel like you get a good look into her psychology in the submarine arc for like a second, and then after that she's basically the same apart from like a few moments where she's a bit tender with Rock, but she's mostly just like a loud asshole, and you don't really see that. Like, I don't mind that you don't see her develop. I don't expect her to change into like a different person or whatever, but it would be cool to get like some amount of like an idea of like what has caused her to be like this, apart from like she's had a hard life, the cops beat the shit out of her one time when she was younger, that sort of thing.
She killed somebody when she was a kid.
Yeah. And I think that like that goes more so for like the rest of the like Black Lagoon company as well. Like, we don't really like, the only thing we know about Benny is that he's Jewish and from Florida. That's it.
No one cares about Benny. No one's favorite Black Lagoon person's Benny.
Yeah, the second part of what you said there is true. I like Benny though. I care about him. He's not my favorite, but I thought he was funny. Sorry, continue,
well, like
Jolene.
even like Dutch though, like you don't really know much about Dutch apart from people fuck with Dutch heavily. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and he smokes American spirits. He's just like me for real.
American Sprites. American Sprites, and they drink a Heineken or something, or is it Heiseken?
Yeah.
What was it?
Heineken, yeah.
It's so silly. The brand safety stuff is so funny. But then they say a brand name earlier in the show. I forget which one it was, but like the second episode, they're talking about whatever.
It's a dub in 06. They can do whatever they want.
It's true.
But so I guess I would like not super hard, but like minorly push back on that, because I think Revy has maybe the only character development besides Rock in the series, and it's very minor, but like the last arc, she bothers going back for him, even though it's not required for anything. And like, that is character development. You know, her opinion on Rock changes. We definitely, and we get like a couple of sentences that are a hint to what her eventual backstory might be. So like, I think I ultimately agree that like, I wish we got more, but I do think that it's like set up well enough that in a world where I watch this, I am convinced enough that it would show up, if that makes sense. Like, I guess I'm not worried about it never showing up. It would just sort of be the pacing of it.
Let me ask you a question real quick though. Is this the type of show where you like want like you're anticipating to see character development? Like, you're like, are you like the next like the next arc, like I really hope that like Dutch isn't the same person next arc, or is it just like, do you want to see cool shooty guys?
I want Dutch to stay the same forever. I want
True.
Rock and Revy to like do some like averaging of themselves, but like with like a multiplicative factor on, like I want to see Rock like shoot a kid. You know what I
Become a
mean? Like
psychopath, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I want him to like kill a child. Like that's
You want him to start the Fourth Reich. I get it.
Shout out to Word.
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
no, I don't want him to do that, Pete. That I look. I already talked about how look Revy has her faults. She's anti-Nazi, unlike Rock.
True.
So,
but he's pro human trafficking, which I thought was interesting. Like he sees the cargo and you can see he's like uncomfortable with it, but he still does it, you know. And he doesn't ever speak up and say. He says, "Hey, this feels dangerous," not "Hey, why are we trafficking
like a psychotic
child?
thing?"
Yeah, which I thought was pretty interesting from the show too. Talking about the group dynamics, quick. Like I liked Rock. Did we not like Rock? I feel like he's
I like Rock from the perspective that I think he has like negative chemistry in like an intentional sense with the group. Like I liked him as being someone who is sort of putting the brakes on things, but gets overwhelmed and sort of has to go along with it at some point.
I like him as like foil to the group is kind of like the way I looked at it, right? And that's how I enjoyed his character, just because it gave like Benny moments to open up, because you talk to Benny, who seems like the least like violent or deranged, maybe.
Benny's not boots on the ground, so
right. And like they had that nice character moment. Like I thought Rock had a lot of maybe not character development, but more just like moments where he could bring out stuff from the cast in the same way he did with Revy, and will continue to, I would hope, with the rest of the show as well, in terms of like, we're going to get Dutch's backstory. It felt, I don't know if this similarity or this show is a good comparison in your guys' eyes, but I thought it was very like Cowboy Bebop-esque, with like the crew of the Bebop and the way that they interact and how they complement each other and bring things out of each other. I really, really liked that aspect of the show. So I also, I guess I'll join you, Miles, in pushing back against the chemistry. I thought that the cast had pretty solid chemistry, at least the main four. Like I do agree some of it is forced though, like the Rock and Revy, like kind of like you could tell it's like one of those older shows. It's like, oh, the two leads have to date, like that kind of thing. Like it seems like it's pushing that direction, and I hope to be proven wrong, but it felt that way. But I liked the chemistry of the group as a whole, I guess, is more my thought.
And Jolene, you had an answer to Pete's question as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I want them to like change or anything like that. I think it would just be nice if they weren't like completely static characters in certain ways, because the show does try and like talk about things, right? Like the whole like the submarine arc, just them talking about like being a soldier and people being weapons and that sort of thing, like as well as like trying to sort of talk about like imperialism in a lot of ways. I think that like it tries to do this sort of thing, but it doesn't. Like there's aspects of it that if you look at it too hard, it falls apart a little bit. And I feel the same way, like to compare it to another thing we've reviewed and something that I hold very close to my heart, Golden Kamuy, like it has a lot to say about like war and soldiers and stuff, but it's also like, but like don't ask what the members of the Seven do after Golden Kamuy's over and World War II starts. Like you don't want to know what they were doing after that. So it's just tough, I guess, for me. But I do think that the chemistry was there. I wasn't trying to say that there wasn't like chemistry. I just felt like the chemistry didn't really have to develop, and it didn't. Like it was just there from the start. Basically, after Rock joins the crew, he's got chemistry with everybody, and like it's fine.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So like maybe like more like as opposed to being like they don't need to change, but they can be like more 3-dimensional than 2-dimensional for
right.
Yeah, okay. I feel like we don't talk about that enough, like as a podcast / community. Like not just characters changing, but like how fleshed out characters are, even if they don't change, like is something that I feel like often gets sort of left
Mm-hmm.
on the
Yeah.
conversation floor or whatever. But anyways, another thing I guess I would like to talk about is the maid arc. What do we think of that? That it sort of had a different tone than the rest of the show. I guess I thought so, at least, where I thought that was the least grounded of everything we watched, because we had like our assassin cartel member maid lady with like an umbrella gun, and everything else like obviously had over the top action, but that was the one that it ends with them fighting each other to death. Like I don't know. I guess we can just go over the arcs in general. Did anyone have a favorite one? What stood out from the ones they saw? Anything like that? I will be right back.
And this is my goodbyes. I didn't have a favorite arc. I don't think that I feel like I'm gonna be in the minority on this. It's like I don't think the arcs matter. I really don't. I really do think that this is all just like flowing together, and it's just they're gonna shoot a bunch of bad people, and once those bad people are done, they're gonna get paid. And once they get paid, they're gonna get laid. And once they're done getting laid, they're gonna pick up a new job. You can try to like pick and choose, I feel like, and you can maybe find something in these arcs that like, maybe you really like Revy and you really like one of these arcs that like showcase Revy. But I would say in terms of like the style of the story itself, that it's all the same. Like it doesn't seem like they're setting up for a Chimera Ant arc. Like, are we going to get some 27 episode epic thriller in this story? Nah, we're only getting a bunch of 2-episode shoot 'em ups, and that's fine. That's what the show is, and I'm fine with that. So, in terms of favorite arc, I don't know, the one I just really like the scene where they share a cigarette together. So, whatever scene that arc was in, that's my favorite arc.
That's fair. I agree with you, Pete. I think I saw a lot of nods with what your point was about how like the arcs are like the start and the finish of a mission, I guess, but they don't necessarily matter on their own. I felt though that the arc we were talking about with the maid, it goes like the action. I talked about this in the Discord earlier, but like the action is like over the top right from the start, right? Like they literally ramp their destroyer off of another wrecked ship
That was sick.
and shoot a torpedo above land at a helicopter.
That was so
and that's how they get out in the first thing. Like that's like over the top action and like so ridiculous and not grounded. Or I think as we used in the Discord, like it's jumping the shark, right? Like that stuff happens, but it's not okay, this is really dumb. I don't know how to describe it other than like a vibe, I guess. But like versus when the maid arc happens, and I don't even care about the umbrella gun. I don't care about all the ridiculous violence and like the grenades under the skirt and stuff. What really annoyed me was when we take the two most prolific assassins we've seen in the show and have them fighting each other to death with guns. They're just missing every shot as they're running at each other with dual. It's like it gets to a level where like, I guess like the aura farming is like not good, or it's like too much. And I think that this arc in particular does that multiple times. I mean, the car chase scene, she's running behind them at full speed and catching up to the car, jumping on top of it, shooting down in the top of a random car with dual wheeled shots, and she's just missing everything. Like I don't know, it's a static people sitting in a car seat, like that kind of stuff. It was like, I guess that level of action was so fake or just dumb, like stormtrooper aim, versus the rest of it was at least like, oh, that was a pretty cool set piece, or that was a semi believable thing that happened. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I found that arc in particular, the maid arc, to be the least grounded, and that's where I got so frustrated with it. What do other people think? I've been talking for 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm kind of piggybacking off of Pete, but my thought of, because I remember saying this during my during the review of the Secret Santa stuff, or the Secret Santa not episode, but this show reminded me a lot of the game Mercenaries 2, where it was just very, it's fun for fun's sake, and yeah, there's a story, but you play the game to destroy buildings. You don't play the game to relive the story about somebody getting revenge on somebody shooting them in the ass. So that's kind of how I feel about this as well.
Speaking of asses, if I can make a quick pivot for something that I was really confused by as I was watching this, is why did that lady who I guess we decided was Taiwanese make so many jokes about Revy's butt? Like, I didn't get them. I didn't understand. Did anyone get that, or did we all think that was stupid?
I guess it was that
I just didn't understand the joke.
She has a big butt or waves it around, so she
Okay.
gets annoyed by it because she's smaller and more petite. I don't know. I guess that was like that's the only angle I could see it making any sense. But that was pretty.
Zach, I'm just gonna look something up real quick. Wait, never mind. I'm trying to see. I don't know if it's just a man. If it's a man writing female characters, that'll do it. Is what I'm going to say. But I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't even. It never even crossed my mind. I just thought it was normal dialogue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I was asking if it was a me thing, but it just sort of like, I don't know if anyone's like watched Community, but there's a bit where Chevy Chase's character is like obsessed with saying like, we're going to get your butts or whatever. Like, it was just like any sort of insult, but like adding butts in for like kind of no reason. And it sort of felt like that, but less intentional, I guess.
I'm going to go
me,
with the
at
fact that
least.
she's wearing very limited clothing.
Yeah,
and her
that's
ass
fair.
is hanging out of it.
Her cheeks are
Yes.
literally out most of the time. Yeah.
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 So, I think we
Speaking
saw
of that,
history.
the fan service involved in this show, like it definitely does a lot of that, like angle, the anime camera angle stuff. I feel like
Good.
I mean, yeah, like
These are adult characters.
I don't have anything to say to that. Yeah, good. I agree.
I was actually surprised
It's
by the
mostly
lack
with-
of fan service that there was. Like, there was one scene in her
yeah.
in her underwear, but other than that, it's just like she's just rocking like a short tank top and short shorts. I legit thought she'd be way more sexualized, and she was, but like not as much as I thought. So I was very happy about that.
And it was mostly just her, if I remember correctly, which is like something I don't think she as a character would like really mind, which sort of changes the, I don't know, calculus a
She
bit,
doesn't give a
right? Like,
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, when she like lifted up her
You
shirt
know.
to give those guys the.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's
that was
like not wearing a
that's the
bra
sc-
or whatever.
That's the to bring back Jolene's scratch and sniff. That's the scene we needed it.
The Spell-O-Vision, yes.
Just
Yeah.
just covered in Revy boob sweat.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, you know, I guess like to me that's the difference between like sexualizing Revy and like, I don't know, some 13-year-old high school character or whatever.
So true, Miles.
It does make it better. It does make it better.
It is better to sexualize a grown woman
So-
rather than children. I
So
100%,
brave,
yeah.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll die on that hill.
The camera
Oh.
angles.
I guess
too,
I meant
how
it's
many
like she's a
times do we
character.
see- Like,
She's
how
not
many
supposed
times
to
do
be
we see her
modest in any
crotch?
way.
No.
Oh,
I
a
know.
billion. Oh yeah, I
It's
mean,
just-
but it's like honestly good characterization, right? Like the first time we see her sit down, she sits down and her legs are wide open, right? Like it really emphasizes the Revy doesn't give a fuck vibe that they were going for, except for when Revy does start giving a fuck, and it makes it very scary. Like in the scene when like the sunken boat or whatever, where she's like mad at Rock for his shitty takes, and is like, I don't know. I thought that was like a good contrast scene to how you like normally see her is like getting like angry more than like upset, if that makes sense, and then just not really caring what happens, and then she's like also like she's upset but in a more simmering way down in the boat, and she sort of drops all of that and is like, I will fucking kill you. And it was scary. I would be horrified if I was Rock.
Horrified and erect.
Yes, both of those things, even against all of the pressure from being underwater.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, rigor mortis.
Well, that doesn't really work on your penis, but
Why doesn't it,
anyways.
Miles? Can you explain biology to me, please? Like, I'm curious.
Well,
now.
yeah, you see, so
Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. To go back though, I thought the Roberta arc sucked. There we go.
okay.
Full circle.
I agree.
Full circle. Garcia should have got shot. Fuck that kid. He's annoying.
Wait, why? Okay, we don't like this kid. Is that what I'm learning?
Fuck him.
No,
Okay,
we
I'm
don't fuck with
indifferent.
him.
I'm indifferent to him. I
Yeah,
didn't like
don't know.
Roberta.
He's a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a cartel
Fuck
boss.
them
This
kids,
kid too,
Miles.
so
You
like,
ever heard that before?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess being a dad.
He
changed
talked about how he
Um,
talked about how they never got involved in anything illegal, but he was like, but the plantations were thriving, and it's like,
Yeah.
all right, bro.
he's still a cartel family member. Like it's like it's not his fault, but it's also like I don't know, man. Like
Yeah, I don't know. Our group like helps disrupt. They feel like who would get sent in to like disrupt like the CIA would hire them, and they would go to somewhere in South America and like take out a legally elected leader.
They'd
And,
make
like,
a banana republic, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
like yeah, they were working pretty hard for the CIA in that last little bit there.
They were.
True.
I liked
You
the
know, and they
CIA
are-
character. That guy was fun.
I liked him too. I thought he was fun, but he's still like a fucking narc. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's- but I think it does a good job of sort of showing the complete amorality of the group, right? Where they will do good and bad things as long as they are hired for that group. So I don't know. Does anybody know if there was a specific Japanese social movement that last arc was like referring to? Because I guess I would just be curious. Because to me, that felt like very heavily like it was referencing an historical event that I just didn't know. Because I don't know.
I was
Not
thinking more like
Japanese.
Desert Storm or Afghanistan, like the Middle East in general is how that felt to me. Because the way that the guy was talking about the wars and like the families and stuff, and that's what I took from it. But maybe I'm attributing an American bias to it.
Well, because there was more of like it was like a cultural revolution, from my understanding, like some sort of socialist movement or whatever that he was doing, and then formed like a paramilitary group or whatever.
Yeah,
But-
I guess I don't know. The guy also had like an accent that to me sounded like it was meant to emulate the guy he was working with, and like talking about like, oh, what about our cause? That's whatever. Like I thought, at least I thought the dub was trying to emulate a Middle Eastern accent. Maybe I'm outing myself here or something, but is that not the
He was
vibe that you guys got from it?
Japanese.
Not the
Like-
guy that comes
Oh,
back.
the
in
other
airport.
guy. Yeah.
The other guy, yeah. So like I thought
Yes.
that's what. So is that the movement we're talking about, or are you talking about the movement? Or I guess I thought he was talking about that movement as a member of, or in reflection, not necessarily. But I guess it was
I don't
his
know.
first movement.
We're not going to figure it out here if nobody knows, so we can drop it. But if you do know, drop a comment, because I would be curious about the historical basis of that. I think we'll pull one last question here from the questions that Champ always lovely sends. We've sort of touched on some of them, but we can do more specifically. And okay, I like this one. The very last one. How long do you think you'd survive in the Roanapur? And
A day?
my answer to that, yeah, that's. Is anyone? I think, like maybe Jolene could do it, and that's like my main.
Oh, thanks.
Like I don't got it in me.
It's in
Pat could
Thailand, and
maybe, but
it's in Thailand, and my people are very respected there.
My God.
Unironically, but yes.
The first person dead, to be honest.
Cat.
That's unironically a place I would consider moving if I had the funds to like get out of the United States because of how shit's going. Is Thailand. So maybe not Roanapur in particular, because holy fuck, it's a literal hive of scum and villainy. But I mean, I could figure it out. I spent a lot of time in New Orleans, so
It's Kat, this isn't to say that you wouldn't die immediately, but I exist. I would be like, hello, everybody, and then I would get shot.
Greetings and
It would-
salutations.
Yeah, it would be so fucking quick.
There, my telescope.
Yeah, I would show up in fucking khakis and Sperry's, and it would be very fucking over. And like,
We
yeah,
just get robbed over and over again. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy has money or comes from it," and then there you
yeah, and then they would kill me once they found out. No,
go. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many
I'd like to
bats
think-
in Thailand. You'd be fucked.
Well, you're more physically imposing than me, Pat. Right? Like, I feel like
Yeah, but it doesn't matter when a gun goes off. Like that's the thing that always drives me nuts about these like stories too, with like the super ex soldiers and blah 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 blah. It's like all it takes is a 9mm from anywhere within 100 yards, and you don't have to be looking. You don't have to be ready. You're just gone. You know. So it's always such a you
Hashtag
know.
Charlie Kirk.
It's gonna be crazy to find out that this is.
Protect your neck.
Yeah, no, I know it's no, of course it's fiction, but I guess the point being that it's like I don't know, I don't think anyone would survive
it does
that long in this game.
it does feel like a lesson that the show would impart to us at some point.
Yeah,
right.
But
That it
also,
doesn't matter
realism
how
is
fucking
boring.
Yeah, true. I am on the Lagoon Company wiki, and I see a picture of Rock, and like it kind of makes me want to watch the rest of this show because he looks sinister as all fuck in this screenshot.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about.
I just want to say, look, if this show came out in 2026, they absolutely would just say, "Protect your neck."
But
What?
did anybody else try and keep track of how many cigarettes were smoked in this show? By the way,
No, did you have
Absolutely
a
not.
rough estimate for me?
yeah, I mean, I stopped counting after episode 6, but by episode 6, they were at 35.
Solid number. Yeah.
I'm
My
not
goodness.
counting the OPs and such, obviously.
That
I
yeah. Go ahead, Pat.
No, I was just gonna say like that's it is crazy how like that's such like an aura thing too, especially from older anime, but even nowadays too, you'll see it where it's like if they want to make a character look cool, and this goes for
It
all
does look
media too.
really
It's like
cool.
they give them a cigarette, and if it's something in this scenario or in this setting, it does make them all look so cool.
Imagine them all vaping instead in the 2026 reboot, like hitting a geek bar. How lame that would be.
yeah.
What if they were hitting the hookah though after a certain event happened?
After their grandma got hit by a bazooka.
Yeah, that's something that
Yeah.
very easily, again, could happen in this show. Someone's grandma could get hit by a bazooka.
Grandma
Um,
got hit by a bazooka.
If you heard
No,
you know
no.
what? It doesn't matter here.
I know
check
what
that
you're
out.
referencing.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes, I do. It's okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's we're going too deep into the Zoomer shit posting, I feel like. I liked one of Eagle's questions as well that I thought was pretty interesting. Who do you trust out of the group, or who would you trust out of the group most? I guess Rock is like the sort of obvious answer that he caveated with, but like to me, I feel like I trust Dutch more than anything because he's very much just like upfront and honest, even when he's telling you like, oh no, I'm going to leave you behind because I can't save you. You know, like I appreciate his brutal honesty. I feel like is pretty reliable, where he's not like bullshitting you, and there's a lot of knowledge that he has that I feel like is pretty useful in this space, and there's a reason he's the leader. What do you guys think?
Oh, I would trust Revy because I could fix her.
Can we
I
go?
just need
I
one
can
shot.
fix her.
I think she would ruin you, honestly.
That's fine.
that's-
Shout out to my favorite Crane Wives song.
no problem. Can we go outside of the
tongues
Black
and
Lagoon
teeth.
Company?
Sure,
Dude,
why
that
not?
Russian chick, all day. With my life.
Balalaika.
With my
bacon face.
life. With
On site.
You
my-
would trust her?
She is the coolest character in this show by a
That's not what I.
mile.
That's
I
not the
would-
question, but yeah,
that's not
fair
the
enough.
question, Pete.
Yeah, no, she's so cool that I would trust her because she's so cool. Like,
I'm- I trust Dutch.
Yeah.
I don't like Revy. I could like trust insofar as I know not to trust her. You know what I mean? Like you can trust that you can't trust her. Rock is a snake. I saw him looking sad after he got rescued. Probably gonna betray the group at some point or something. I don't know. I don't fucking trust him.
He also didn't
Um,
snitch though. He did hold his tongue when he easily could have snitched in some way.
Yeah, I know. He honestly did pretty good there. And I just like honestly forgot everything about Benny and never trust the tech person. So
Never trust a Floridian. Is that what you're saying here?
that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
glad
a-
that's the aspect of him that you can't trust. It would have been not great otherwise.
Not even what I was thinking about, but fair enough. All right, I think we've been towing the line all episode, haven't we? Good lord. Do we want to do closing thoughts? And there's a couple things in the discussion we didn't touch on that I would like to get to in my closing thoughts. I know. So, anything super major that we feel like we're missing, or are we good to go? All right, I take the silence as we're good to go. So, Miles, why don't you start with your closing thoughts and your final score for Black Lagoon?
Yes, I had a fun time with this. It's definitely like an older show, but I think it like holds up pretty well from like an animation and like production standpoint. We didn't really talk about that, but it was okay. Pete thinks no.
I think the sound
it did.
design in this show was ass, like straight ass.
Okay,
I thought it was
I've never
terrible.
noticed sound design in my life. That's a personal flaw of mine. Okay, the animation is fine. It smooth at points, and I suppose for me, someone who doesn't notice sound design, the sound design was fine. I didn't like the OP at first, but it kept getting stuck in my head, so I guess I like it. I don't know. A really quick topic, I guess, for my end thoughts is a lot of people say that this would get like quote unquote like censored if it was released today. And it wouldn't get censored. It would be more faithfully localized, is what would happen. Some would say that it's actually less censorship, but your assertion that the same phrasing and stuff would not be used is correct, though that is not, again, that's a translation. That is a judgment call by a localizer, and I think it was a relatively good one, but it's not censoring to localize something differently, provided you are just blindly going into the same source material. So I just wanted to touch that because I saw that point brought up like a lot by different people, that it would be censored, and it would not be censored. It just wouldn't be made to possibly be needed to be censored by the localizers. And those are different things. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It is a good time.
Alrighty, Kat, what about you?
Yeah, this show was fun. Like I said earlier, it reminds me of Mercenaries 2, makes me want to play it again. But like I always like having shows that I can go back to, and like for me, one of my favorite shows of all time is Nichijou. And this is one of those shows similar to it, not in the same way that, Nichijou is My Ordinary Life with, the Black Lagoon Company. It's just that I can turn on Black Lagoon and I can work and have fun at the same time, or I can like work on projects or work on other things. And it's always fun having the show on versus something like I like, say, Sonny Boy. I don't really want to watch Sonny Boy over again because, hey, it's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot going on in that show, and it's not necessarily going to be fun to rewatch. So that's all I mean. But like, this is, yeah, I really enjoyed this show. This show is like, this show is an 8 out of 10 for me.
8 out of 10. All right, Jolene, what about you?
Yep, I pretty much man, I thought I would like this show more than I did, but like it really, I feel like its age does show quite a bit in terms of just like production. Like I don't think it was like really anything based on other things I've watched from around the time and like before, I don't think that the production of this is really anything special. I don't really think that the animation is anything to write home about. Like it's faithfully adapted to the anime, which is like the bare minimum, or manga rather, which is like the bare minimum in my opinion for something like this. Sound design, like Pete said, was buns. Like in a show that's very focused on like gunplay and having like signature guns and like weird guns that they're using and stuff like that. I want a little bit of variety in terms of like shooting sounds and stuff like that. Like and just so it can feel a little bit different, you know? And I think that like Miles said as well, like while the dub does have like it's a dub that I would recommend, but in a way I also do think that like how heavily like localized it is does probably detract in some way. I would obviously have to watch the Japanese dub to know, but I don't know. And I think that, you know, apart from that, like the format of the show was a little bit boring for me, like very like mission of the week sort of thing. Like Pete said, I don't think that the arcs mattered at all, apart from like basically the name of an arc will give you a slight gist of like what the caper is or whatever. Like, oh, the submarine arc, cool. They're on a submarine, that sort of thing. The characters are probably the high point, just the main cast, and a few of the side casts as well that are more important, like Balalaika and stuff like that. But this might have just been better as a 2-course, so I could get a little bit more character development out of the cast, I think. So for me, this is a 7 out of 10 overall as well.
7 out of 10. Alrighty. Pete, what about you?
Yeah, before I say anything, I just want to say that this show was insanely fun to watch. The 12 episodes was an absolute breeze, and I think that's a testament of just the entertainment value of the show itself. But like watching it and calling like a spade is just like sort of things where it's like you have, for me at least, a cast of characters that were great, but when they were together, they weren't. You had a storyline, I think, like on paper, where you, if you wanted to dive into something more, you could, but they didn't. And it really was just focused around kind of like really cool shooting stuff, which is fine. I think that's what the show is going for. I think something really cool that I would like to see in this style of show is that the missions that they're on are the reflections of the characters, and that's how we get the character development. So, you know, something along the lines like I think if we was saw a little bit with like Garcia, with like maybe one of the characters had something with a child, or you know, something along those lines where we can learn about the characters through the mission. And I think that's kind of where the story lacks its character development, is interweaving these missions to the characters so we get to know them more, because we don't do the high Q thing where in the middle of a match we get a 10-minute backstory that Miles loves. Like we don't get that in the show. So if we want the character development, how are we going to get it? I think that's the way that they can do this in the story. So, you know, I like it with high Q, so I don't care what Miles says. He just hates it. So but
I do.
so it's like a combination of a couple things. Like entertainment value, 10 out of 10. I was fully entertained the entire time I watched the show. I really enjoyed watching it. But I think I think the show is bad. Like I legitimately think that the show is bad. Like I think the writing is bad. The production value from Madhouse was pretty bad. Like Jolene was mentioning, and this is like the Shohei Ohtani effect, where it's like when Shohei hits a home run, you know it's a home run. Like you don't have to see the ball; you can just know it. When you have an anime centered around like action and guns and stuff like that, when you hear a high like caliber rifle go off, I want to hear that. Like I want to hear that Shohei rifle, and like we just didn't get it in the show. So like from a technical standpoint, there was some really cool like animation stuff. There's also really bad animation stuff. There's a couple of scenes where like the characters are moving like they're like pixelated, like I don't know, MS Paint characters. It was kind of weird, but I don't know. I would like, it's like I would 100% watch the second season. I would watch it in a day, and then I would probably never watch the show again. That's kind of the vibes I got. But entertainment is my number one thing, and I had a lot of fun watching the show. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
That's 7 out of 10. Alrighty. And I agree that I was thoroughly entertained while watching this show. It was a lot of fun. I thought the maid arc lagged quite a bit, but I enjoyed the rest of the arcs. And again, I also agree that the arcs don't really matter. I think one thing we didn't touch on that I would like to talk about is the world building. I think is really well done in this show. With God, what's the city called again? Jonapur or
Roanapur.
what? Geronapur, yeah, it's something. Wherever the city that they are based in has a lot of like neat little things in the background, or with the characters that they interact with that are throughout the streets or in their business in a way. I think that the show does a really good job of building up just how much of like a really difficult place it is to live, for lack for to put it nicely. So I thought the world building was really well done in that regard to the show. It felt like a crime den, and I thought that was really cool. But I agree with a lot of the criticism of the show. It was really fun though, really really fun. So I have it at a 7 out of 10 as well, which brings our final group score to a 7.2 out of 10, averaged out between the five of us, which is 0.81 points below, or 0.8 points below the Mal score of an 8.03. But yeah, that wraps up our discussion on Black Lagoon, done by Studio Madhouse. Miles, what show won for? I believe it's not Jolene. Is it Pete Week?
It was Miles Week, even.
It was Miles Week. How am I not remembering these? Because I know I nominated a show. Jesus.
You
yeah,
nominated
so we did.
Deadverse, Monster
did.
Strike Reloaded, the GOAT.
That's right. Yes, I
Yes.
did. I did. How could I forget such a wonderful show that I nominated?
Well, let's see where it places. In third place,
Don't do it to me, Miles, please. Oh God.
we have
Please.
Chaos.
Oh, please.
In second place, we have Monster Strike Reloaded.
Hey, legacy point, baby.
It was close though. And then we will be watching Sabage Boo,
Hell yeah.
which is Pete. Did you nominate that? Who
No,
nominated
that was Cat, wasn't it?
Was
Cat.
me?
Okay. Okay, we will be nominating Cat. Or watching Cat's nomination. I have to say, after the episode aired, Monster Strike got a very large surge of votes from people who heard our pleas for
Oh my god.
for it to win, but it wasn't quite enough. So it is what it is.
Shame.
Nobody
what a
wanted to
shame.
watch Nobody wanted to watch Nazca. Apparently, heathens, pieces of shit.
Let me tell you, specifically 4 points on that. I think 2 people had it in their votes.
Yeah, sorry.
So close.
That looked
It
like
might have been 3. To be fair, I must say most of these shows looked like ass.
What is this show we're watching? I must have spaced out when Kat was describing it last week. What is this? Oh my God. All right, we'll get to it eventually. We'll all watch it eventually. But then 2 weeks from now, it will be time to pick from the shows we nominate for Pat Week, which is my week this week. So what we decided to go with I decided to go with, I should say, is a historical week or history class week, where any show, we're pretty loose with the definition here, but basically any show that takes place or primarily takes place in the past. Pre-1945 was the arbitrary date I decided on. Basically, the point being it's set in a historical location of some kind. So for those shows, let's see what people decided to bring to nominate. So Miles, what show are you nominating for Pat Week?
Yeah, I'm going to be nominating that we just play the entirety of Assassin's Creed 1 by Ubisoft. I think it's the only thing that makes sense. You did say primarily in the past. There's an argument to be made that it takes place primarily in the future. I disagree with that interpretation. I will be nominating Heki Monogatari by Science Saru. So it was between that and Moriarty the Patriot.
Yo, Moriarty was my third.
Oh, look at that.
I also considered Moriarty.
Okay. That's,
There you go.
But yeah, I will do Heki Monogatari.
Alrighty. Kat, what about you?
Yeah, as we all know, it is Black History Month, and I had to choose a show with a black protagonist. Yasuke.
Okay. Yasuke.
Which one? Is it
the
there only
bad
the one? The
The
bad
bad
one.
one.
Yeah,
There's
no-
just the one.
Nothing
Yeah.
says historical
Okay.
Bad
like
one.
robots.
It's technically
says
takes
historical.
place back then, doesn't it? So
Ooh,
It does
Yeah.
have the historical
Yeah,
theme
it
on
does.
now.
Y'all should
It's-
watch it.
Wait, can I change
don't
mine?
Go watch it.
Can I change mine to A New Hope since it takes place a long time ago?
There's probably a Star Wars anime, right?
There's the Star Wars.
There
Visions.
is.
You
I will
can
do.
technically
I will do
Visions,
Star Wars
yeah.
Visions.
Vision.
So hopefully we can get this sci-fi fantasy show in for our historical week because it takes place a long time ago.
That's exactly what I wanted, Miles.
I knew
for
it.
this
I
week.
knew that's what you
So,
wanted. That it fits
Yeah.
much better than my original pick. So
Does your original pick not actually fit? I didn't.
no,
see-
it fits much better than
Perfectly,
the Star
okay.
Wars. Yep. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate your sarcasm. Well, so we'll find out. You'll find out when you go to vote which one actually we went with. Miles went with. But Jolene, what about you? What have you got for Pat Week?
Oh, I'm gonna nominate Hell's Paradise.
Ooh.
Nice. I was hoping someone would. I've thought about that one for myself, so I'm very excited to potentially vote for that one. Most likely vote for that one. Pete, what about you?
So I had two options. I had Discord randomly blind pick one. Miles will be happy that the show that lost, I was my runner up was Rakugo Shinju season 2.
Nice.
So I am going to go with my second choice,
thought
which won the
about
vote. I'm gonna go with Porco Roscoe.
Porco Roscoe.
Yeah, the Ghibli film.
Rosso. Isn't it Rosso
Yeah,
or
whatever.
Rosso?
I think we all mean Koronai no Buta.
Nah, I speak English.
Okay.
Porco Rosso.
Okay. Ghibli film. Cool. All right. Sweet. And my nomination for Pat Week is going to be a show that kind of just slipped through the cracks for me. It has a second season and it seems to be mostly well received. And I thought it's a pretty interesting premise. It's My Happy
Yasuke.
Marriage.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Good
Yasuke.
choice.
Now, My Happy Marriage always looked interesting to me, and it just because it is because I like historical anime, and we always get a lot of samurai shit, right? But like, what about like the time between samurai and like World War II? I thought that's and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to take place then or in like a fictional Japan of that time. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, those are the nominations for Pat Week. Thank you for listening and making Pat Week possible. And that wraps up Watch Club for the week. So Pete, take it away.
I like that. Thanks for making Pat Week possible on behalf of viewers like you. Thank you.
It's exactly like PBS.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you have made this far and you want to support us, the best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you are watching or listening to us on. Next week, it was the mid-season check-in, so finally going to be checking in on what I'm watching this season and what I'm not watching this season. So we'll be doing that. Otherwise, if you're here for Watch Club, we will see you in 2 weeks for, how do I pronounce it? Someone help me out.
Sabagebu.
Sabagebu.
Sabagebu, that's what we're watching. So we'll see you in 2 weeks for that. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
La Bobo.
Bye